Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront updates and some more Star Wars Battlefront 2 content. Today I wanted to delve a little bit more into the minor details regarding the game, because at the reveal at EA Play a lot of people were obviously focused at the gameplay, the new gameplay trailer and all the stuff around that, so we didn't really have time to look into the minor details in the background of the different footage that they revealed. And in the Game Changers video, they showed us this shot of a developer at DICE working on some weird creature or vehicle. And that's what I wanted to talk about today, because I saw a lot of discussion regarding this image on Reddit, and I decided to give you my opinion on it as well as get some of your speculation into my video. So I guess you could call this sort of a new series where we look at details in the background and speculate a little bit around them, and I get to show some of your guesses and opinions in the video. So depending on how well this video does, I might do more of these in the future, because I think it's a lot of fun to talk about this stuff that very few people have actually discussed so far. So this could be a major thing, but it could also just be something in the background that we won't care about when the game is out, but it's still quite interesting to talk about. So as you can see, the main thing that this developer is working on seems to be some sort of creature or vehicle with 4 legs. And no one has really come up with something that makes you go, oh, it's definitely that. So this is either something we already know about that is just in a very early stage, or it's something completely new that we haven't seen before. If we're talking about stuff that we have seen before, a lot of people suggested that it could be the DSD-1 dwarf spider droid that we have seen on Geonosis. They have the same amount of legs, although the shape of the head is a little bit different. So I don't think it's the dwarf spider droid, but it could potentially be a very early in development version of the spider droid. But we still don't know if Geonosis will be in the game or not, so that's also another part to why I'm unsure if it's actually the spider droid. Another suggestion that a lot of people had was that it could be an Octoptera combat tri-droid. These droids were seen both on Majito and Utapau, 2 planets that aren't confirmed for the game either. However, the tri-droid has, as the name suggests, 3 legs, whereas this one has 4. So it's definitely not the version we've seen in the movies and Clone Wars series, but it could be something else. And the other speculation that I had was that it could be a brand new creature, because it almost looks like it has some sort of antennas to the side, which makes me think that it could be a creature. However, if we move on to a lot of you guys' speculation, some of you suggested that it could be the Cancel, which is the flying creature from Kashyyyk, a planet that is confirmed for the next game. And I think this could actually make sense if this was simply half the Cancel done with no tail and no wings, but that they started off with the actual head and some of the legs. It doesn't look spot on though, but it's definitely not impossible that it is a Cancel creature. And some of you actually suggested that it could be a bus droid, and I think this is the same thing as with the Cancel. It could definitely be an unfinished bus droid that is in a very early stage, but I don't think the legs really look the same way as the bus droids, so I don't think that would be the case. And I'm also really hesitant on how the bus droids would work in the game gameplay wise. I feel like they would be pretty hard to implement in a multiplayer space battles game, but I mean, I'm open for anything. It would be cool to see them in the game. A lot of you did, however, suggest that this could be a brand new walker, and that is actually one of the suggestions that I feel is the most realistic. Maybe it could be the AT-RT version of the Imperials, and something we will see in the campaign, because we have seen a lot of stuff in the Rebel series which is kind of in between the original trilogy and prequel trilogy, so it wouldn't completely surprise me if the campaign will introduce some new elements like that, either through just background animals and creatures or through entirely new vehicles, because those 2 antennas to the side could maybe be some levers that you actually control the walker with. It's very hard to say. But I thought it was very fun to read all of your speculation, because it really makes you think a lot more compared to if you just look at it yourself and say, what could this be? And then you try to Google it. But getting all of your input made me think a lot more about what this could be. And again, this is just a very minor thing. It could happen to just be a background character that we will never care about, but nevertheless, they showed it in the trailer, so I thought it would be cool to discuss. And I guess I could also briefly mention, because I guess there's going to be a lot of comments about it, that up in the right corner there's something red that is actually really hard to see what it is, and I don't have any good speculation for what that could be. Some of you suggested it was like a mix of the Wookiee helicopter and Hailfire droid, and I guess that's reasonable. Problem is that none of those were red, so I'm not entirely sure what that could be. I'm guessing that's also something new that we will see in the campaign, or maybe it's just a background flight that will be really small when it's actually in game. But that is all for this video. Please let me know what you thought about it, and if you think it's interesting to discuss these kind of background items when we've already covered all the main things. I know some of you will probably not like it, whereas some of you will think it's very interesting, so I'm really interested in hearing your feedback. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.